Was BTS's golden boy left in the dark or pushed into it? As the world watches JUNGKOOK soar through global charts and dominate the solo stage, an uncomfortable question has begun to bubble beneath the surface of the K-pop industry. Could one of the most beloved idols of our generation have been manipulated by the very people he trusted most? Could his closest brother in BTS, Taehyung, and the very founder of HYBE, Si-Hyuk, have knowingly played a part in sidelining JUNGKOOK from major decisions and moments meant to define his career? The speculation is growing louder by the hour. Fans are torn between disbelief and a gut-wrenching sense of betrayal. And no one, not even the most loyal army, can ignore the signs anymore. It began quietly. Too quietly. A sudden shift in behavior, a series of canceled interviews, a tour appearance mysteriously withdrawn. JUNGKOOK, who had been gearing up for one of the biggest solo rollouts in K-pop history, went nearly silent. No explanation, no apology, just cold PR lines from HYBE that did nothing but fan the flames of concern. Soon after, the rumor mill erupted. A leaked internal memo from HYBE suggested that JUNGKOOK's promotional priorities were being re-evaluated. Then came the footage, grainy but damning, of a tense private meeting at HYBE headquarters where Si-Hyuk appeared visibly upset, while Taehyung exited the building with a stern face, avoiding questions from staffers. Fans immediately began to wonder what was being said behind those doors, and more importantly, what was being hidden. Social media went into meltdown. Hashtags like Protect JUNGKOOK and hashtag HYBEexplain began trending worldwide. Reddit threads grew by the minute, analyzing every public interaction, every glance, every Instagram like. It wasn't long before patterns started to emerge. JUNGKOOK had slowly been distanced from major group-related opportunities, while other members continued to receive full agency support. Was this just coincidence, or was something more deliberate at play? Taehyung, often seen as JUNGKOOK's brotherly confidant, had been acting unusually detached. Longtime fans noted the lack of shared updates, the absence of casual hangouts, the sharp drop in V-Live collaborations. For a duo known to be inseparable both on and off stage, the change felt unnatural, unsettling, and perhaps intentional. Then came an anonymous claim from a former HYBE employee who insisted that internal politics were behind JUNGKOOK's reduced visibility. According to the source, JUNGKOOK was becoming too independent, expressing ideas about creative freedom that didn't align with HYBE's current direction. Some executives, allegedly, including Si-Hyuk himself, saw this as a threat to the brand's cohesion. The solution? Isolate him, control the narrative, redirect attention. It was a claim too big to ignore. The idea that the very man who discovered BTS, Si-Hyuk, could be involved in dimming JUNGKOOK's light shook fans to their core. After all, Bang has long been viewed as a mentor figure, someone who believed in JUNGKOOK from the very beginning. Could his desire to preserve the BTS empire have led him to compromise the freedom of its youngest star? Emotions have reached a boiling point. Fan letters are pouring in. Digital protests have begun. Thousands are calling for a transparent explanation, demanding that HYBE reveal the real reason JUNGKOOK's plans were allegedly derailed. And through it all, JUNGKOOK has remained heartbreakingly silent. His most recent Instagram update, a cryptic black and white photo with no caption, has only deepened the mystery. Where does Taehyung stand in all of this? His actions are harder to interpret. Some say he's caught in the middle. Others suspect a deeper level of involvement. Could personal jealousy or creative rivalry be clouding a once unbreakable bond? Could friendship have turned into quiet competition? The truth remains murky. One thing is clear, fans are not letting this go. The love the world has for JUNGKOOK is not just because of his voice, his dancing, or his visuals. It's because of his sincerity, his loyalty, and the unshakable trust he placed in those around him. If that trust was broken, even by the smallest degree, the consequences could be devastating, not just for JUNGKOOK, but for BTS as a whole. Is this the beginning of a painful unraveling? Or is this the spark that finally forces the K-pop industry to confront its deepest, most toxic power dynamics? Every hour brings more clues. Every silence feels like a scream. And while HYBE continues to issue vague, polished statements, the fans aren't buying it anymore. They want answers. They want truth. They want to know, was JUNGKOOK set up? And if so, who did it? The silence is deafening. As days pass without a single personal update from JUNGKOOK, the world watches with growing unease. For an artist known for his openness and affection toward fans, his recent disappearance from the spotlight feels like a warning. Was he silenced? Or worse, was he hurt by the very system he once called home? The ARMY fandom, known globally for its devotion and digital influence, has turned into a well-oiled investigative force. Accounts dedicated to decoding every post, every interaction, every shadow behind the curtain have emerged in droves, and what they've uncovered only adds fuel to an already raging fire. Screenshots have begun circulating, showing internal calendar leaks from staffers close to HYBE. One entry stands out: an allegedly canceled studio session with the global producer JUNGKOOK had long been rumored to collaborate with. Strangely, that same producer was later seen in LA working with another HYBE artist. The replacement? Taehyung. Coincidence? Or something darker? These overlaps keep surfacing, painting a picture that's increasingly hard to ignore. Someone inside HYBE may be redirecting opportunities meant for JUNGKOOK to others, strategically, quietly, and without his knowledge. What's more shocking is that multiple insiders, speaking under strict anonymity, have come forward in the last 72 hours, claiming that JUNGKOOK's growing desire for artistic autonomy made some board members nervous. He reportedly pushed for full creative control over his next album, wanting to experiment with a rawer, more international sound. But according to the sources, those at the top feared it would pull him too far from the group identity that BTS had spent a decade building. But isn't that what JUNGKOOK was promised? Freedom, support, trust. If those promises have now turned into punishments, what does that say about the cost of ambition inside one of the most powerful entertainment companies in Asia? The betrayal, if proven true, is beyond professional. It's personal. It's hard to imagine the pain of being pushed aside, not by enemies, but by family. Because that's what BTS always said they were, a family. The 7 members often told the world they weren't just a group, but brothers, bound by something stronger than fame. JUNGKOOK himself once said, with tears in his eyes, that he owed his entire identity to the people around him. The thought that some of those same people might now be part of the reason he's shrinking into the background, it's enough to make even the most casual fan feel sick. The emotional toll is starting to show. Clips from JUNGKOOK's last public appearance, just 2 weeks ago, are being rewatched with painful clarity. His eyes looked tired, his smiles forced. He barely spoke during the Q&A segment, and fans who attended now recall a strange energy in the room. Something felt off, almost like he didn't want to be there, or worse, that he wasn't allowed to say what he really wanted to say. Still, there's hope. Even in the midst of what some are calling a creative coup, ARMY continues to rally behind him. A digital petition demanding a formal investigation into Jungkook's recent career shifts has passed 2 million signatures in under 48 hours. Several prominent journalists and YouTubers are now promising to investigate further. Music insiders across Seoul and LA are quietly talking. The pressure is mounting, and it may soon be too heavy for HYBE to ignore.
The question now is, how long can Jungkook stay silent? And more importantly, how much does he already know? Some believe he's planning a quiet, calculated response, an artistic bombshell in the form of a surprise single or documentary. Others fear the worst, that he's been emotionally broken by people he once trusted with everything. Rumors swirl that he's contemplating stepping away, not just from HYBE, but from the public eye entirely. The thought is unbearable, but given everything that's unfolded, it no longer feels impossible. As for Taehyung, his silence speaks volumes too. No public defense, no messages of support, no subtle signs of reconciliation. Nothing. It's unlike him. Fans are now divided. Some refuse to believe Taehyung would ever betray his brother. Others have begun compiling clips of past interviews where subtle tensions seem to bleed through the surface. A glance here, a forced laugh there. Could it be that the cracks were always there, just hidden beneath the surface of carefully crafted PR? And what about Si-Hyuk? The man who built BTS brick by brick has remained completely silent on the matter. Not a single press statement, no social media updates, only a well-timed business trip to Japan, right as the controversy reached its peak. HYBE's official accounts continued to post generic updates, ignoring the elephant in the room. But the world is watching, and silence, in this case, may be the loudest answer of all. The industry is holding its breath. Behind the scenes, brands and collaborators are reportedly growing nervous. A scandal of this scale, if it continues, could derail entire campaigns, product launches, and partnerships. Jungkook's name carries power. If that power begins to shift, the consequences will ripple far beyond the music world. Still, one truth remains unchanged. Jungkook didn't come this far to be silenced. He didn't survive the grueling K-pop training machine, rise to global superstardom, and pour his soul into his solo work just to be controlled like a puppet. If this really is a betrayal, if what fans suspect turns out to be true, then this isn't just a scandal, it's a war. A war for truth, a war for freedom, a war for the soul of an artist the world refuses to lose. What happens next will define not only Jungkook's career, but the integrity of everything BTS has ever stood for. And if the world has learned anything about Jungkook over the past 10 years, it's that he doesn't go down quietly.